Ladies and gentlemen, it is the year 2026 and in this year an 8 class has fallen from the sky into our favorite game. To celebrate, we are going to do something special. In today's challenge run, we are going to be doing the hardest of challenges. We are going to pretend a Warlock playthrough is an actual challenge. Yes, dear viewer, we are going to pretend Blizzard did a good job playtesting and balancing the Warlock. Cause I sure don't fucking believe it. Welcome everyone to the hardest challenge run I've ever done. Welcome to the Fire Warlock. The first part of this run is spent just reaching level 6, cause that's when our first spell unlocks. At level 6 we get the first of our main skills, Fire Nova. Fire Nova is of the same lineage as Frozen, Poison and Plain Nova and Warcry. Yes, I know, except as you would have never guessed from the name, it deals fire damage. It also knocks back enemies, cause of course our big AoE spell also needs to be crowd control. Wouldn't be able to beat the game without it. The first thing we are going to need is a weapon. Now normally we would go for an early game weapon, but that's just a big old load of bullshit if you ask the Warlock. We are starting with our endgame weapon right off the bat. Or staff in this case. It is a bit of a DIY project, so for now we just buy the base at Akara and move on deeper into the trenches of Act 1. To complete our build a boomstick to face the armies of darkness we need to head to the tower. In the tower lives a demon so strong she dies after not 1, but 4 novas, which means she is very powerful. More importantly though, she drops the runes that we need for multiple endgame gear options. Yes, not only are we finding our endgame weapon here, our endgame armor lies all the way in the depths of the tower as well. It's a good thing too. We are almost past the intro. It sure is time to get into our endgame gear. I'm obviously joking, stealth won't be our endgame armor, cause I'm going to wear something much greedier, but we'll get to that when we get to it. In the meanwhile, the Countess has dropped us a Tear and a Rel rune. These combine to make the rune word leaf that I'll show you when I'm at the ripe old level of 19 and can wear it. As Count has taught us all, before 19 comes 18, and at level 18 our next skill unlocks. Flame Wave has you shooting a giant wave of fire in a straight line in front of you, which chat told me is a Diablo 1 spell, but I've never beaten that so I wouldn't know. What I do know is that it's pretty sweet and heavily endorsed by the Maggot Lair. I didn't bother returning the game to players 1, instead I fought Andariel on the players 8 setting, which means the game is pretending there is a full party of people in the game. I do this cause I can, and want to showcase that even on the highest difficulty you can make the game naturally go, Andariel is a pushover. In the desert, we achieve our lifelong dream of reaching level 19. Finally, we are going to get the power spike we've been needing all this time. The Tear and Rel rune together combine to make the rune word leaf. This rune word has +3 to fire skills, 33% cold resist and 2 to mana after each kill. +3 to skills is of course absolutely fucking obscene for a level 19 item, so to combat this it can only be made in grey two-handed staves. That is, unless you are a Warlock, cause Warlocks just get to wear it as a one-hander, because fuck you all other classes. This game isn't called Warlock 2 by accident. In the Halls of the Dead, I end up finding a second weapon that can come in handy. Normally a melee weapon's most important asset is the damage it deals. This isn't the case for Velok. There are 6 mods on this weapon and only 2 matter. The 60 lightning and 20 fire resist. This allows you to switch into them if you ever need the resistances. The next of our item upgrades comes in the Arcane Sanctuary when I find the final piece of the stealth rune word. Stealth has faster run walk speed and faster cast rate, both of which are rare to find on an armor. In the Duriel fight I decide to try out a sigil. Sigils are curses that are set on the ground. In this case the purple circle slows the enemies inside of it. By how much you ask? Well, 10 or 15% would be reasonable for skill level 1. From there on in it could add 2% per skill level, but that would be proper balancing of the game, so we are doing 50% instead, making it possibly the strongest 1.1 wonder skill in the entire franchise. Playtested this character my ass. Anyway, this skill is heavily endorsed by Bale, but Duriel dies to it just as much. He ends up dropping Set Chain boots. These are the Hasaros boots, and despite my personal trauma with them from my Paladin run, these are still some of the best early game boots you can get. Thank fuck for the power boost, we really needed it. I almost started to feel underpowered there for a second. It's a good thing the items are coming in hot in Act 3, after valiantly reconquering the Git bin from the hands of Viperhorn the Dead. Ormus gives us Raven Loop, a 17 fire and 25 poison resist ring. For the Mephisto fight I decide to equip the Velok I found earlier, getting me up to max fire and lightning resist, which are the only 2 that matter. For the other 2 you can just drink antidotes and thawing potions. So we are at effectively max resistances in normal Act 3, and now normally I would be snarky here, but it's definitely thanks to the Velok and has nothing to do with the Warlock. So I won't be. You can imagine that with the pinata from hell fighting at half speed, max resistances and plenty of damage, it wasn't a very hard fight. The first problem of the run was the Grand Vizier of Chaos. This undead is always fire immune, which is a problem cause while we deal fire damage and lots of it, we deal only fire damage. We are a bit of a specialist for now. All your problems tend to just disappear with money, so we hire a mercenary and have him take care of it. I mentioned this in a previous video as well, but when enemies aren't fighting back, it doesn't matter how much damage you deal. So while Diablo is just lounging about in the sigil of slow, I chip away at his life total until he's defeated. In a solid example of the rich get richer, Diablo ends up dropping chance guards. These 38% magic finding gloves will help me find more gear throughout the run. The set Chris he dropped is one of the new items in the Reign of the Warlock expansion. Bane's Oathmaker has 20 faster run walk and maximum damage per level. Honestly, not too bad at all for the early game. I, however, am not a melee plebeian, so it's not for us. Act 5 has me working my way through Shank for a socket quest reward I will never use, followed up by grinding some Eldritch to reach level 30 and complete the first part of my build. The final skill for this build is called Apocalypse. What it does is make a giant pentagram on the ground and deal fire damage to anyone in it at the time of detonation. This skill is two different things. First off, it is fucking metal. Spawning a burning pentagram to deal with everything in its wake is 10 out of 10 style points if you ask me. Second off, it is ridiculously overpowered. I don't know what kind of crack they were cracking on with during this so-called playtesting of theirs, but I want in. Cause this skill isn't just good, it's stupid good. Like seriously, you'll see later in the video, this isn't just an attack, it's a nuke. Speaking about nukes, one thing that would help me out a ton is if you leave a comment and a like so we can nuke this video straight to the top of the Diablo YouTube meta. If you don't know what to comment, no worries, I've got you covered. Just comment playtesting is great for game balance. While you're down there, don't forget to check out all the affiliate links in the description and pinned comment. If you see anything you need or want, we might as well help each other. I make a bit of change and you get a discount. Oh, and check if you are subscribed. I know you think you are. Just scroll down and go check. I make this comment every single time I remember to for a reason. And if you just want to throw your money at me, that is cool too. I have memberships open and a Patreon. With the obligatory shilling done, we have saved Anya for the 10 resist all the quest rewards grants and head towards the Ancients. The 3 old men waiting on top of the mountain, all lonely and forgotten, longing for their time to come, are no longer in solitude. Now normally this would be a trial that checks if I am worthy. However, for today's special I am just nuking them until they stop trying to attack me. The first of the Bale waves requires the help of the mercenary again. In the wave after the first, also known as the second wave, a Shale rune drops. Now this is normally a rune you don't get access to until you're in Nightmare, making it an excellent drop to find early. With this rune we can create the rune word Rime, a 25% magic find shield with cannot be frozen and 25 resist all. This is almost our endgame shield, it just needs a bit more oomph. Don't worry though, we'll find a lot of oomph soon enough. I wasn't kidding when I said that the sigil is heavily endorsed by Bale. I'm sure most viewers know this, but I'll explain just to make sure. The final boss of the game, Bale is unable to perform his attacks when he gets slowed 50% or more. Which is a huge fucking coincidence with our sigil dealing exactly the 50% required. So for the price of 1 skill point, we get to beat the final boss of the game for free, 3 huzzas for playtesting. With normal done, let's get the party started in Nightmare. The most important thing to do in every difficulty is to check your resistances. Nightmare has a -40 penalty to your resistances, and in Hell it even goes up to -100. Our lightning resistance is barely holding on for dear life at 5. I don't really want to use the Felloak anymore if I can avoid it, so it's time to go looking for some lightning resist. The search was endless, but in the cold plains we found an Ord rune, the first step on our journey towards the lightning resist. Another thing I found a bit further along in the underground passage is a 4-socket poleaxe. 4-socket polearms are a staple of caster runs since forever, and this run is no different. I don't have the runes I want for it yet though. So for now we move on towards Tristram, the old one. Not the new one they built 500 meters up the road like the geniuses they are. Surely the demons won't walk that far. I sure will though, it'll be a few videos, but we will be visiting New Tristram again soon enough. For now though, we save Cain, who just leaves us behind even after talking to us. What a dick move. Usually this is the part where I tell you all about if the new ring we got as a reward is good or bad. But according to the footage I am seeing in front of me while editing this video, I never checked. As usual, nothing but the most high level planned and methodical of gameplay on this channel. And yes, I too can see it's right there in my inventory on the right there. Whether I'm blind or dumb, that is for you to decide. What's not a decision at all is where we are going next. There is only one place that gives us what we need and makes us feel alright. Oh Countess, you got what I need. After making our way into the bottom of the tower that sank into the swamp, we didn't build a new one. Instead, we just farmed until we had all the runes we needed to make our 4-socket poleaxe into a weapon of mass destruction. The inside rune word is one of those rune words that was busted before it was cool, even in the current reign of the Warlock. Oh my god, he said the thing. Hashtag title drop. Anyway, even in the current reign of the Warlock, inside is still keeping up with its huge pile of stats that pretend they matter, and the one that does, the infinite mana aura. When your spells are broken as all hell, all you want is to cast them as often as possible. And now we can, thanks to the level 15 meditation aura. Andariel is weak to fire, something we have a lot of. I think that sums the whole fight up nicely. It's been a while since we got a solid gear upgrade, so I'm happy to report that in the Claw Viper Temple we got our next one in the form of a 25% fire resist ring. I really hope this won't be our endgame ring, but it will do for now. I'm also making a lore. This helm has +1 to skills and 30 lightning resist. Exactly what we are looking for, and we will be wearing it to the end of the game. Remember a few minutes ago when I talked about our shield needing just a little bit more oomph? Well, in the Far Oasis we find a 2-socket grimoire. As a casual upgrade to our rhyme shield, which was obviously lacking in power level, we now get that same rhyme with +3 to one of our main skills as well. And I know what you're wondering, so we will go check how much of a damage increase that is. Our damage without the extra skills is 2500 to 2800, an amount any self-respecting fire druid would be happy with. We however are not a puny druid, so our shield gets us a nice extra 1000, making us reach 3300 to 3600 without maxing our skills or our synergies at level 43 in Act 2 Nightmare without even trying. Did I mention yet that they definitely playtested this? Speaking about that, look at this pretty wall here. That's a new Reign of the Warlock DLC special wall, just like this little shadow here. I don't know what exactly went wrong, but something sure did. You know what I am in need of? Some more stupidly powerful gear, cause I sure have been feeling weak. Luckily, all I have to do is blink twice and the game provides. This time in the form of rare sharkskin boots that have 37 lightning and 40 fire resistance. I mean, there is no faster run walk on them, but I guess they will do. If it wasn't clear, I'm joking. These are easily our boots until the end of the run. That is an insane amount of resistances to find on there. With our weapon, shield, armor, helm and boots already at their final form, the amount of things to talk about in this video is dwindling fast. For now though, we get to fight Duriel. This was one of the more interesting fights of the run. It ended up in a way where I ran around in patterns to lure the demon into the slow sigil, allowing me to throw the apocalypse skill without getting killed while doing it. Damage wise, it's obviously still way too much. I mean, we are dealing more damage than almost any endgame build in the game at this point, shortening the fight severely. But I wish there was more gameplay like this to be had with this character. It is fun to have to pay attention to your character instead of just watching videos on your second monitor and nuking the fuck out of everything. Probably my favorite part of the entire run, the whole 20 seconds it lasted. I talked about this in the first run and first impressions video I posted a few days ago as well, but it's still fresh enough that I can talk about it again. I find the play patterns the Warlock gets into are very entertaining when they are done in a way that doesn't allow me to just carpet bomb everything on the screen. While massively overpowered in its current state, I do think they have created the foundation for what could be a very fun class down the road. For now though, I'm just hoping they don't get it this wrong next time as well. With this release, I'm assuming they are going to bring even more classes. Chat even told me while I was streaming that they were looking at 4 classes and we managed to come up with 2 more on stream as well. A Beastmaster to complete the set. We have an Undead and Demon dude now. Might as well get a Beast dude. I know we have a Druid, but he brought his own set of animals. I want to control beasts and get their abilities. Another one we talked about was an Alchemist that does all sorts of funky stuff with potions and gets throwing potion synergies or something. Just the thought of them adding more classes to the game opens up so many things. Are there any other classes you would like to see added to the game? Act 3 has us walking through the jungle and into the sewers, where the only even remotely close call of the run comes in when Icehawk explodes and his cold enchanted frost nova hits me. That being said, we still very easily make our way to Mephisto and deal with him as well. In a very unjust turn of events, he drops nothing. We are back into things are dire mode. One of the only problems we have left is that fire immunes aren't dying quite as quick as I would like them to. Our Hellforge grants us a solution to that problem though when it grants us an rune. In normal Act 2 you can buy 3 socket armors. And while I'm not going to wear it, our fire immune solution would love a new armor, so we make him a duress. Duress has faster hit recovery, enhanced damage, cold damage, crushing blow, open wounds and a pile of resistances, all in all making it one of the best mercenary armors in the entire game. Lord Desace turns out to be one of the most dangerous enemies in the game. His posse is fire immune and he himself spams curses and runs away. Normally a huge problem for any class. Not for the Warlock though. As a Warlock we can just jam the Apocalypse down his life total and call it good, all while ignoring the problem in our way. Who could have figured out that being able to attack the entire screen at the same time had its advantages? Man, they must be glad to have thousands of people test that out for them after the release of the character. No way they could have ever realized it themselves. You cannot, I repeat, cannot stand next to Diablo anymore in Nightmare and Hell. They fixed that. So instead I just spam the apocalypses at the demon until he dies. At this point of the run I am already strong enough to very easily clear the game. So after blowing up the ancients and switching the button to off on bail, Nightmare has been cleared. We have Hell left to go. But let's make sure I don't make the same mistake as last time. I start off by gambling some amulets, resulting in an amulet with life per level and 18 resist all. At this point I've maxed my fire skills out, so it is time to diverge into something new. I don't feel like I need anything, so I might as well get a few extra tanks going with the Goatman. My survivability was completely fine, but just to make sure I'm putting a point into Blood Oath as well to have some of the damage I'm taking go to the goats instead. I don't have a belt yet, so I feel slightly disappointed when a fantastic one drops in the terror zones, cause there is no way I am going up to 110 strength. Immortal King is a fantastic belt no matter what class you are though. Some more farming later I reach level 70 in the Far Oasis, and at this point it's just time to get into Hell. Just like Nightmare, Hell starts with a resistances check, and well, we are just already at maximum fire and lightning, the only two that matter. So I'm sure we are missing on damage. How much are we dealing? Oh, 8000 flat. Well, okay. A lot of making videos is having some to work towards, and besides killing Bale, we kind of just don't have any of that. I mean, we might as well start working towards that, I guess. Maybe something exciting happens while we do it. In true TikTok generation style, our problematic cold resistance gets solved right away when in the Den of Evil Corpse Fire drops some rare light gauntlets that turn out to have cold resist on them. These put us up to 20 cold resist, which combined with a thawing potion has us at 70% cold resist, also known as 5 away from max. Poison is just maxed after we drink an antidote, so we are effectively at fully maxed resistances. Moments of excitement are never far away though, cause we end up finding what is a grailer for me, and I don't mean one that has the new animation going on when you identify it, but one I have never found in all my years of playing. In the jail level too, a unique Yari falls to the floor from some bone archers. As a non-ethereal item it is a great mercenary weapon. It's even better ethereal though, and I have been looking for an ethereal one for years. Well, here it is. We did it, boys and girls. We finally rolled an ethereal one. The Hohen Sandan has 3 sockets and a pile of crushing blow. What makes it great as an ethereal item is the durability repair over time. One of the greatest spears in the entire game and my first true grailer in years. We put some life leech and attack speed in it by the way. Cause even at the price of giving up our infinite mana, the Hohen Sandan is just no doubt the way to go for the mercenary. The Andariel fight went exactly how you think it would go by the way. Lots of fire explosions, lots of demons dead. On most playthroughs, the maggot lair is where fun goes to die, resurrect and die again. Not for the Warlock though, he has multiple options to get through it. Apocalypse just wipes the floor with everything in its way as per usual. And if that isn't enough, we also have Firewave just creaming its pants in happiness at the thought of a straight narrow line of enemies forced to walk slowly at you with no way of dodging. There is just nothing in the game coming even close to stopping us at this point. Another big danger point in other runs is the Claw Viper Temple level 2, where you need a way to deal with Fangskin without giving Fangskin a way to deal with you. Apocalypse however is bigger than the platform he is waiting on, so we just nuke it and move on. One little tidbit that happens is in the Arcane Sanctuary. The goat in here are fire immune, but between the stun and crushing blow from the goats, my sigil slowing them down, and the mercenaries Holy Freeze aura, we are back to what I mentioned earlier. It doesn't matter how long things take to kill if they don't fight back. I even managed to just off-screen the summoner as well. I didn't even notice him being there before he was dead. The only dangerous point of the run happened in the Tal Rasha's tombs when a group of fanaticism fire immune skeletons started flanking me as I ran cursed into a corner. For the first time in the game, something managed to overpower the goats. Having lured the skeletons away, the Unravelers were left all alone and well, you know what that means. I just threw a few nukes on them and the problem was solved. Duriel couldn't defeat the respawning goats, and we moved onwards to Act 3. Act 2 had lots of fire immunes, Act 3 does not. It was a bloodbath. I dealt with the council by luring out the fire immune ones all in their lonesome and then just dogpiling on them with the goats and the mercs and the oodles of crowd control. They never stood a chance. Not even the dolls in the Durance could stop me. They just started attacking the goats and merc, leaving me at a wonderfully safe distance. Mephisto dropped a Cinco Deas, which doesn't matter at all for this run, but it's the most interesting thing I could tell you about the fight. Act 4 involves a lot of fire immunes again, but just like in earlier acts, I just have so many sources of crowd control they can't fight back at all. So while this entire act was a slog compared to the rest of the game, there was no threat at any point. Growing more and more bored by the minute of just how overpowered this is, I ended up at the Hellforge, where a Lem rune graced me with its presence. Deciding that if I'm bored, I might as well go and wear more magic find. I went back to normal to grab myself another 3-socket armor and made a rune word I have never made before in one of these videos. I made the rune word Wealth, this rune word, which sucks cause you should use the Lem rune to make Treachery instead and then wear that. Has a 100% magic find, a whopping 4 more than putting 4 perfect topaz in an armor, and it has 300% gold find. Which sounds awesome until you realize you have infinite gold the second you start out with a run. This puts me up to a total of 550% gold find and 181 magic find, which is just fucking insane for a hardcore solo self-found run. Challenge wise it didn't make much of a difference though. Doesn't matter how much damage you deal if your enemy can't fight back after all. And I hadn't even mentioned it yet, but the knockback of your Fire Nova does work on fire immune enemies. So on top of the Holy Freeze, Stun and Sigil, I also get to put things into the knockback animation if they ever dare to swing through all of that. I did the same thing to Lord Desays as I did in Nightmare. And I did the same thing to Diablo as well. Which means there is one more act to go. And I'm not even gonna deny it, I am fully out of things to talk about. So I'll just ramble my way through the final act with what I think about this character. During the video I amped up the shitting on everything as much as I could for entertainment's sake. But for my closing words I'll repeat what I said during the Duriel Nightmare fight. I genuinely enjoy the gameplay patterns the Warlock has and creates. I think the developers did a great job on that end. I just wish he wasn't so broken that the game just feels free. So there you have it, that's it. The first of my Guardian Warlocks. I might do more of them, I might not. I pretty quickly got bored of being this overpowered halfway through the run, and I have plenty of other runs planned. So who knows what I'll do. Not me, that's for sure. I know it's not a super hype ending to a video, but that is what happens when the problems of a run have been resolved since forever. With that all being said, thank you all for watching, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.